Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/AmITheDevil for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading the posts, giving you my own opinion, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Cross-posted from r/AmITheX. I, 24 male, accused my girlfriend's 13-year-old sister of hitting on me. Edit. Hey, just to remind everyone, I'm not the OP. I did not write this. Please show me more respect. Though you don't have to show the OP any respect. I, 24 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 24 female, for the past 2 years now. Although we've been best friends before we officially hooked up. My girlfriend has a little sister named Rio, 13 female. Rio really looks up to me, and I get along very well with her. One day last month, I was visiting my girlfriend's parents' house. Rio wanted to take me out on a walk because there's an abandoned treehouse in the woods nearby that she wanted to show me. So I said, sure, why not? While I was walking with her, it was quite windy outside, and she was wearing a crop top and a skirt. So it was difficult not to notice that the wind was blowing her crop top and skirt open. Well, of course I couldn't see up her skirt, but the wind was blowing enough that her thighs were very exposed. It was so uncomfortable for me, but Rio didn't seem to notice that so much of her body was showing. Eventually, I just stopped dead in my tracks and I bluntly asked her if she was trying to hit on me. Because the way she... oh my god. Because the way she was dressed, together with her request to walk with me alone, just felt so inappropriate. She looked so weirded out and repulsed, and she said the equivalent of, ew. No. I told her that I just wanted to check, and so I resumed walking, when I noticed that Rio was not following me. I turned around and she was running back home. This entire incident has damaged my relationship, not just with my girlfriend's sister, but with my girlfriend and her parents. Her parents were so angry when Rio told them what happened during the walk, and I was kicked out of their house. My girlfriend refuses to communicate with me or see me now, and the last time I talked with her, she was crying and she told me to stay away from her little sister. I'm eager to get back on the family's good graces, and I'd like to sit down with Rio eventually and have a one-on... And I'd like to sit down with Rio eventually and have a one-to-one discussion with her about what happened that day. How do I get back together with my girlfriend? How do I repair my relationship with her family? And then at the bottom, the cross poster once again adds the reminder, just to remind everyone, I'm not the OP. I did not write this. Please show me some respect. But you don't have to show the OP any respect. To the original OP, I don't even know what to say, man. I just want to say, by the way that you described the clothing on a 13-year-old that then I had to read made me pretty fucking uncomfortable. It also very much sounds like you asked a 13-year-old, like, because of what you're wearing, are you trying to hit on me? That's not... Dude, I don't even have the words. And then, after you asked said 13-year-old if she was trying to hit on you and she ran home not being comfortable with you anymore, you now want to have a one-to-one discussion with her about what happened that day. I thought we were in for a story where a 13-year-old developed an innocent crush on her big sister's boyfriend, but no. Instead, we had OP describing a 13-year-old's exposed thighs, which... Fucking yikes, dog. Cross-posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for telling a friend she's kind of overreacting over a broken leg? I, 24 male, have a college friend I sometimes hang out with, 25 female. Basically, we live in the same city and met on our course and kept in touch after graduation. Like, a while ago, my friend hurt her leg and the doctor gave her a walking boot to wear and walking sticks. I hung out with her like a week after it originally happened, and she was kind of moany, like saying how much it hurts and how annoying it is and complaining about work, even though I'm pretty sure her boss just let her work from home throughout it. Throughout, it kind of spoiled the vibe a bit at the time, but I get it, and helped her out and all that. I wanted to hang out with her the week after that, and I suggested a nice club, but she said she can't due to her leg, and instead suggested a restaurant with a few of her friends. And I get it, and agreed, and the whole meal was her basically complaining about her leg or walking or depression due to her leg, or this or that. Anyways, the next time I hung out with her, it was at a shopping center, and again, same old complaining, even though the doctor told her to walk on her leg by that time, and she'd say she needs to sit down almost every 15 minutes. I kind of thought it was a bit ridiculous and just went, man, crazy to let you out of the ICU. She didn't get it at first, but got mad when she did, and I apologized, but told her that she's overreacting and should stop spoiling the mood with it all of the time. Like, millions of people get hurts. That's just life, etc., etc. To which she got madder and stuff, was said back and forth a bit, and she said she's going home. I tried to apologize in the text afterwards, but ignored. Am I the asshole here? I get that she broke her leg, but I was kind of just making light of the situation a bit, and I thought she got a bit too mad at what I said. Also, hangouts between friends are supposed to be fun and not supposed to be negative and depressing all the time. You asked someone with a broken leg to go clubbing? I wonder how much of this is actual just constant complaining, or how much of it is actually just, damn, it really sucks having a broken leg. Oh my god, do you ever shut the hell up? I'm surprised they let you out of the ICU with that attitude. Hey, I gotta sit down for 15 minutes because my leg is hurting. Oh my god, will you stop spoiling the fun? Like, buddy, you're the asshole for inviting someone with a broken leg to the club alone. Like, dude, what the fuck? Even if she was constantly complaining and whining excessively or something like that, you could have still just been a supportive friend and just sympathize with her pain. Hell, maybe she has a low pain tolerance and this is her first time breaking a bone or something. But instead, you were cracking jokes at her expense. That sucks. I mean, if your shins and knees came into contact with a cylindrical rod of aluminum, do you think that you would be down to go clubbing, or would you want to take things a little easy? Just a general curiosity. Cross posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole? Am I being too overprotective with my 17-year-old daughter? I have a 17-year-old daughter who's asking to go out with her friend by themselves. Her friend is also 17. I would be dropping my daughter off and her friend's mom would be doing the same, with both of us picking them up afterward. They want to do something simple like go to the mall, bowling, or running. My daughter has never given me a reason not to trust her. She works, is responsible, and even offered to keep me updated throughout the day. However, whenever she hangs out with friends or goes to sleepovers, I usually tell her to include her older sister or the whole family. I've also told her that if she has a problem including her sisters when hanging out, then she's not really for her family. She says that because she has a job and interacts with all kinds of people every day, she needs the chance to learn and experience things independently. She also feels it's unfair that she's never really been allowed to go out on her own because I always expect her sister or family to be involved. Now she says it's gotten to the point where she doesn't want to ask anymore because she already knows the answer will be no, unless someone else comes. Her sister, who is 23, agrees with her and says she felt the same way at that age and still does. Am I wrong for feeling this way, or am I being too overprotective? So not only are you allowing someone who's almost a legal adult just to enjoy their time with their friends and not have to have their whole family apparently attend, but also you have another daughter who's 23 who you're forcing to chaperone someone who's 6 years younger than her. Just from a purely logical standpoint and trying to address the logic on OP's level here, alright? If your daughter is able to hold a job and be at her workplace alone, how come she's not able to then hang out with friends alone? You gotta let your 17-year-old daughter actually be able to enjoy her time, because the moment she turns 18 with this kind of behavior, she's gonna be gone. The moment she has freedom and doesn't have to legally listen to you, dude, like, you are gonna be kept, like, at minimum contact if you're lucky. Like, this is crazy overprotective, helicopter enmeshment kind of shit. You know how it's a good idea when your dog is a puppy to go and socialize it with other dogs? They don't snap or get angry and they're actually able to socialize. Yeah, you need to do that with your daughter. And stop doing what you're doing. It's just not right. Cross posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for initially asking someone in my cycling group to leave due to inappropriate gear? I, 24 male, organize group cycling rides pretty regularly. They're technically open to the public because of sponsor requirements, usually restaurants we stop at along the way. But in reality, they're mostly filled with my friends. I still have to advertise them though. This last ride was a longer one, about 3 hours each way, and a fairly fast pace. Out of 5 total spots, 4 were taken by people I know, and 1 ended up going to someone from the public. Courtney. When we met at the start point, I noticed right away that Courtney wasn't dressed like a typical cyclist. She had a proper road bike, helmet, lights, all that, but she was wearing a long skirt and sandals that were not clipless, instead of cycling gear. Everyone else was in standard Lycra kits. She actually had the most expensive bike out of all of us, so clearly she knew better. I was honestly concerned about safety. A long skirt near a bike chain just sounds like a bad situation waiting to happen, especially on a fast-paced ride where we wouldn't be stopping constantly. I didn't want to be responsible if something went wrong, so I told her she couldn't participate and would have to leave. That didn't go over well. One of my friends, Emily, immediately said if Courtney couldn't ride with us, she wouldn't either. She left and said she'd just do the same route independently with Courtney. Since it's all public roads, there was nothing I could do about that. The awkward part came later when I realized we'd all be stopping at the same sponsor restaurants. It would have looked weird if Courtney was just there but not part of the group, or if she had to pay separately while everyone else was covered. So I ended up just registering her anyway and letting her ride with us after all. After the ride, Emily told me I was an asshole for how I handled things. I feel like she kind of forced my hand though. If she hadn't walked off with Courtney, I would have stuck to my decision. I also think she might be biased because they're both women, and usually Emily is the only one in the group. The rest of my friends think I was being reasonable. For what it's worth, the event page did say, wear appropriate cycling clothing, but it didn't specifically say no skirts. Some comments for extra context on the original Am I the Asshole thread. User RooFantastic22 comments. So you've gotten restaurants to comp you and your friends' food over the guise that you're open to the public while trying to keep the public from joining? You're the asshole, for a few reasons. OP responds, partially fair, but the question is not about that. And I do organize other rides that have more people from the public, and it takes time and effort to organize these events. User Proud Geek 1019 comments, would you face legal liability if she got hurt? If not, you're the asshole. You can disagree with what she wears, and while it is ridiculous for any serious rider, that's up to her and not your business. If you bear no legal responsibility for her while on the ride, stay in your land and stop policing her apparel choices. Opie responds, I am no expert on that, but she could hit another person in the group. Miss Cannot Even responds, are your sponsors aware that you, an organizer of many rides, are apparently not doing waivers or carrying insurance and have never even looked into what your liabilities might be? In another comment, Angel Arula Steel comments, so you think that someone who probably knows better doesn't know about skirt dangers and can pick an appropriate skirt or ride without it being a problem? Opie responds, she said it was because of a bruise. She could not wear tight clothing that day, but knew how to secure her skirt even though the bike had no chain guard. Angel Arula Steel responds, did she keep her skirt out of the chain? OP comments further, it was close from what I can tell. She kind of sat on it, so it was over the top bar and pedals, but it was not fully secure and moving in the wind. She did complete the ride, and we did ride quite fast. User Dijon Snow responds, you're the asshole for leaving out that detail. She was able to ride safely with the skirt on and didn't slow you down at all. She knew better than you what she was capable of. You decided you knew better, tried to humiliate her by wielding power that you didn't have. You clearly just decided her skirt wasn't what you wanted her to wear, so you tried to forbid her from a public event. You were rightly called out by the only other woman in the group. At a minimum, once she completed the ride in her skirt with no issues, you should have admitted you were wrong and apologized. Instead, you doubled down. You're the asshole. Big incel energy. User Takala8489 comments, you're the asshole. You should apologize. I would have done the same because I assume sandals are unsafe, but I just looked it up. Posts a link to cycling sandals. Just say sorry you were ignorant about proper attire and you've since informed yourself. Thank Emily for encouraging you to rethink your position. OP responds, I was not too concerned about the sandals. I have Shimano sandals I use myself on occasion. Then why did you bring them up? Why did you bring up the improper attire being a skirt as well as sandals? Emily was 100% right to call you out on your bullshit, and in your Reddit post you leave out information that honestly would have been important, like the fact that she actually completed the ride with no issues. Part of me wonders if OP was also concerned from like a public perception standpoint that they wouldn't be taken seriously with someone not wearing like cycling attire and instead a skirt. But all the comments are right about you, from the sponsors to the sandals to you just having some pretty interesting energy going on here. Yeah, definitely the asshole here. Cross posted from r/true off my chest. Wife wasted years. Wife wasted years. Wife just admitted she's failing her classes again. Meanwhile, I've been working, cooking, cleaning, taking the kid to daycare every morning and picking him up every afternoon, feeding him, bathing him, getting him to bed, all without her help, because I wanted to give her the ability to get in school. We have so much student debt and nothing to show for it. I'm burnt out. I'm so tired. She wants to have another kid. Damn, man, that sounds really... Wait a minute, what's that in the comments? Missing context from Aquatic Hedgehog. I mean, she does a lot. She works, and when she's home, the kid gets all over her. Absolutely loves his mom. I get it, being a mom and in school while also working full-time is hard, but she seems to just hate me. I wish I knew why. Damn, dude. Who could fucking guess? You're really out here just like, my wife is wasting her years, she failed her classes again. Meanwhile, I'm doing all of this and we have nothing to show for it. And she wants another kid. Just conveniently leaving out the fact that she's also working a full-time job and is actually helping with stuff too, while also going to school. Kind of a crazy thing just to leave that out. Almost seems like you want random people on Reddit to hate your wife. Also, is she wanting a kid immediately, or is it just like, yeah, in the future I'd like another kid? Because there's a pretty big difference between those two, and you don't specify. So, although I guess the question would be to the wife is, if you hate him so much, why do you want another kid with him? Or is the husband just mad because she's exhausted and has a lot on her plate and just, damn, it seems like she just hates me. I wish I knew why. Anyways, I'm gonna go on Reddit and leave out a lot of context that paints you as the villain. Cross-posted from r/AmITheAsshole relationships. Am I the asshole for being upset at my boyfriend for getting punched in the face on our anniversary? I, 23 female, and my boyfriend, 26 male, just had our 4-year anniversary. This past year has been a bit weird for us. I started my first full-time job as a teacher, and it's been a huge adjustment. I've been pretty drained most days, so when I'm not working, I've needed to focus a lot on recharging and taking care of myself. Because of that, I feel like our relationship hasn't gotten as much attention as it used to. My boyfriend is an engineer, and his job doesn't seem to drain him in the same way. He usually finishes work with way more energy than I do. It's been a bit of a struggle getting him to understand where I'm coming from, but I've been doing the best I can. Anyway, we celebrated our anniversary on Friday. We went out for dinner, took a walk, and grabbed a quick drink. It was a nice night overall, and then he dropped me off at home. The next morning, I texted him good morning, and he tells me that after he dropped me off, he got invited out to a bar and went. Apparently, the night ended with him getting punched in the face. He said it happened because a guy got into a fight with his friend and he was trying to break it up. He has a huge bruise and a cut on his face. I don't know how to explain it, but this whole situation just gave me the ick. I don't want to victim blame him because I get that he wasn't the one starting the fight, but I also don't love that he chose to go out to the bar after our anniversary and ended up in that kind of situation. It just feels kind of immature with where I'm at right now. At the same time, I'm wondering if I'm being unfair or overly sensitive because I've been so stressed and exhausted lately. Am I the asshole for feeling this way? Edit. Okay, I'm the asshole. I am glad I kept my feelings to myself and got feedback before going to him first. Also, he's fine and has been treated to Lululemon for his troubles. And I do love him, contrary to popular belief. So this is actually an interesting one. No matter what, OP is in the wrong for victim blaming for the punch. That just sucks. Like, come on, he tried to break up a fight and he got punched for it. Like, you can't blame him for that. and that giving you the ick? Come on. But it gets interesting in regards to her comments. Comment from user Suishly. I just read through her post and comments and I don't get it. She spends the first 2 full paragraphs talking about how she has no energy, is drained, isn't giving the relationship the attention it needs. I mean, our relationship hasn't gotten as much attention as it used to. And now her boyfriend is a bundle of energy who can't understand her struggles. But then, in the comments, she talks about how he was tired and wanted to go home early, not her, and how he didn't get her a gift. And then she says they were both too tired to stay out. And then she says, I guess if I wanted a more nuanced approach, I shouldn't be on Reddit, and should be speaking to people I know. But alas, here I am, getting a new one ripped. Girlie, honey, child, if you want a more nuanced approach, don't give a one-sided story. Don't leave out pertinent information about why you're really tilting about this. And don't keep changing your mind in the comments. What she actually wanted was a reason to not give the relationship what it needs on a more permanent basis. So in her comments, she does seem a little back and forth on whether she wanted to end the night or he wanted to end the night, but she's also embarrassed to talk to her friends about it because there wasn't an anniversary gift, but in addition, he also got punched in the face afterwards, after the night ended and he went out for more drinks. And there's also more shame to it additionally because once upon a time, she dated someone who would go out, get blackout drunk, get into bar fights, and she doesn't want people thinking she's getting right back into the same situation that she escaped. So there is a lot of stuff piling on top of OP, and now I guess it makes sense why she got the ick from it. Like, this is all extremely important context to give. Because if you were previously in an abusive relationship that had bar fights in it and your boyfriend knew this, and then, he told you that he had no more energy for the night, and then went out to go partying, and then got into a bar fight, even if it's accidentally, yeah, I can understand why you'd be uncomfortable with that. But you also gotta make sure you're communicating this with him. And if it was him who ended the night early, and not you, on your anniversary and he went back out, then you guys definitely need to have a conversation. It also sounds like from a lot of your comments, you're already rethinking the entire relationship for it being for you. And if that's the case, and if you're having these thoughts, then you need to sit down with him and have an honest heart-to-heart conversation and potentially move away from this relationship, because from your many comments, it definitely does give off the impression that you're already going down this road. And as the commenter said, it does come across that you are trying to find reasons to justify getting out of this relationship. Communication here is definitely going to be key. Cross-posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for canceling the visit my ex-husband arranged to have the kids before his surgery? My husband, 34 male, and I, 35 female, have been separated for 2 years. We have 2 kids, 8 female, 6 male, that I have custody of due to their father's chronic illness that's gotten worse before the divorce. He gets visitation, sometimes he sees them when he's at the hospital, and although we agree, his mom is always there trying to stir drama. The day before my sister's engagement party took place, my ex-husband called, telling me he wanted me to bring the kids to spend some time before his surgery. He explained needing to see them before the surgery for A, support, and B, he misses them and might not be able to see them for weeks. I asked what day he wanted them, and he said tomorrow. I said, sorry, but the kids were going to attend their aunt's engagement party, which is 2 hours away from town. He said this is the only day he could see them before his surgery and kept pressing me to bring them to him because the party wasn't necessary, not like it was a wedding. I said their aunt wanted them there, and he argued that I should understand that he's worried and need to see the kids to get some peace of mind. I got mad at him and told him off after he raised his voice at me. I promised I'll have the kids to see him once he's at his surgery, but he hung up on me after ranting about how I don't understand his position. I had the kids call him, and then we went to the party. After I got back, my former mother-in-law came at me, calling me unhinged and claiming I had been purposely keeping her son from his children in the most vulnerable time. I told her about my compromise, but she responded by saying that her son got an infection and has to spend 5+ days in the ICU, so she's blaming me for him not seeing the kids for this long, even though the infection was not predicted. She yelled I could have let the kids spend the day with their dad instead of taking them to the engagement party where they were miserable. She accused me of using the kids to get back at her son. That's when I cut the argument. My sister said this woman is the one unhinged, but Dad said I made a mistake and should have let the kids stay with their dad before his surgery, since medical problems occur unexpectedly, and so my promise to have the kids see him right after surgery wasn't valid. But it didn't occur to me. Am I the asshole? I mean, he literally told you he might not be able to see them for weeks after the surgery, and that's also assuming the surgery at least went according to plan, because how would you feel if he died on the operating table and he wasn't able to see the kids, or the kids weren't able to see their father right before he died? And I mean, was the surgery planned or was it unexpected? Because if it was an unexpected surgery, like he found out Tuesday surgery was going to be Thursday, yeah, you're definitely in the wrong here. Also, it's a shame that OP doesn't have any comments to explain their behavior, because the little line in there of their father's chronic illness that's gotten worse before the divorce, ugh. Your husband was chronically ill. He had surgery coming up. He wanted to see his kids. He warned you and explained that he may not be able to see them for weeks after the surgery. That's exactly what happens. And now you're throwing your hands up going, well, no one could have predicted it. You're lucky it was just an infection. Cross-posted from r/AmITheAsshole. Am I the asshole for ambushing my brother-in-law with his estranged stepdaughter so she could apologize and see her brother for Mother's Day? I'm using a throwaway account because some of my family is on Reddit and I don't want this connected back to me. I'm honestly reeling right now and I need to know if I'm actually the one in the wrong here. My sister passed away late last year and it has been a nightmare for all of us. Her husband, River, is now a single dad to 3 kids: Birch, 15, Fern, 13, and Ren, 6. To be clear on the dynamic, Birch and Fern are from River's first marriage. Their mother abandoned them years ago. My niece, Willow, 19, is my sister's daughter from a previous marriage. Ren is the only child biologically related to both Willow and the other 2. Willow and River have always had a toxic relationship. Willow was a difficult teenager and, in my opinion, just had a hard time adjusting to a blended family. She felt replaced, so she lashed out. She was pretty mean to Birch and Fern and would post on social media about wanting to be an only child. Her bio dad totally enabled it. He'd pretend to take her phone to appease my sister, but we'd see her posting on social media 10 minutes later. It was just teenage drama and grief, but River has always held a massive grudge. This week, River reached out to me. He's planning a Mother's Day tribute and wanted to take the kids to all of my sister's favorite spots. He asked for some old photos and recommendations. I saw this as a chance to finally fix the family. I invited Willow over and told her River was coming by. I told her this was her moment to apologize and ask if she could join them to see her little brother Ren. When River showed up, I brought Willow out. She was crying, trying to apologize and asking for forgiveness. I thought it was beautiful, but River went completely cold. He told her flat out no. He told her he doesn't accept her apology and doesn't trust her not to ruin the day. He threw her own past words back at her, saying she was the type of person who told his kids they shouldn't even celebrate her mom. He then said something that absolutely gutted the room. You ruined your mom's last Mother's Day. I will never trust you around my kids because you're the type of person to ruin their mother's last Mother's Day, and now you want to ruin this year's too. You did that because you knew you wouldn't face consequences since you could just run back to your dad while your mother cried. But the consequence of that is that you never get the opportunity or even the chance to ruin their celebrations again. He took the photos and left. He later texted me saying he's disgusted. He said by ambushing him, I'm condoning the abuse Willow put his kids through for years. Now he's questioning if he should even allow Ren to come to my house anymore if I'm going to keep pushing Willow onto them. I was just trying to mend a fence. Willow is 19 now. She's my sister's blood, and not that same kid. But now River is acting like I'm a threat to the kid's peace. Am I the asshole? First off, it's not your fence to mend, and second of all, you're the asshole alone for choosing the names you did. Oh my god. Personally, I kind of lean towards everyone sucks here based on the information we have, except for the youngest kids. We have OP, who's trying to mend fences that aren't hers to mend and actively stirring the pot and causing drama, and can't seem to comprehend why this is going to cause problems. OP did in fact ambush River with reconciling with his stepdaughter who he very clearly has a strained relationship with, on a day where he's already grieving and remembering his late wife, in addition to remembering the fact that, what was her name? Willow, why this naming convention? Willow had apparently ruined the previous Mother's Day, so her mom's last Mother's Day was spent dealing and cleaning up with Willow's actions. So yeah, OP did in fact ambush River with a forced reconciliation that, well, River clearly wasn't ready for. It's also very clear that based upon what OP's saying, there are a lot of things missing of Willow's actions here and why River despises Willow as much as he does. There's also the question of, is Willow apologizing because she actually feels sorry for her actions that she made when she was a teenager, or is she apologizing just so she can get something that she wants, a relationship with her younger brother? As for River, I don't blame him for being on guard and keeping his kids safe from Willow's further potential abuse. It sounds like Willow had one hell of a nasty streak. However, there is a part of me, for the reason why River sucks in this situation, that kind of hurts for the fact that because of Willow's actions as a teenage girl who went from an only child to then being in a mixed family that was a lot larger, and her lashing out, now she's unable to participate in her mother's memorial Mother's Day. But I also can't blame River for wanting to protect that memorial from the person who ruined it last year. There's also some serious evidence that Willow's father, her biological father, was poisoning the well quite a bit. But I still think that River has the least amount of blame here, and he sucks the least out of everyone here. There's a comment from Unwritten Pages that I think does a pretty good job of just helping to contextualize everything. For some reason, the names made this all harder to understand, but if I understand everything correctly, the OP's sister has a biological daughter. Sister marries a man who has his own 2 biological children. Sister and husband have a child together. Oldest daughter, rude and borderline cruel to the whole family. Sister passed away last year. Since OP says that the oldest daughter ruined the sister's last Mother's Day, we can surmise she was cruel to the family as recently as a year ago. But the oldest daughter wants to apologize now and go to her mother's memorial. I don't know. Kinda everyone sucks here? Ambushing the father was definitely the wrong thing to do on OP's part. Sounds like the oldest daughter was pretty nasty, including to her deceased mother, but she was practically a kid, and they're not exactly known for emotional regulation. Stepdad could be the bigger person, but I get he's grieving too, and wants to protect his kids on their mother's memorial. Welcome to the outro! Don't forget, GamerSupps, use code Oz at checkout. Every purchase made supports the channel directly. And also, for those of you who may not have been aware, if you purchase another creator's product and use, let's say, my code, you actually support 2 creators at once. Fun little fact there. But also, on an additional note, and this is going to only apply for I think like 7 of you who are in the audience right now, I've been thinking of just bringing the midnight cult streams back on the gaming channel and just having those happen every now and then. Because I really do miss them. I don't know if it'll be the same flavor. You guys will know what that means if you watched them, but they might be coming back in a familiar fashion. Potentially, maybe. I don't know. Long story short, I just miss streaming at midnight and just having a good time, and I want to bring it back at some point.